State Commerce Department officials are telling legislators they are coordinating more closely with the Division of Employment Security, the agency that handles unemployment benefits checks.
What we'll be doing is providing one-on-one, and I want to emphasize this is one-on-one discussions with people that are unemployed, and we're going to help them find jobs and opportunities to get them back to work earlier.
The partnership will not affect workers receiving unemployment benefits, but state workforce development teams will be meeting with unemployed workers and take a hands-on approach to finding them a job.
We will verify their identity and their work search activities, and these again are these one-on-one interviews. We will require that they become registered on NC Works Online. We will also assess what their occupational skills are, and we want to target the type of position they're interested in and give them opportunities and let them know where they can find these positions throughout the state.
The partnership between employment security and workforce development leaders launches fully later this spring. It comes as the state's unemployment loan debt to the federal government continues dropping, and employment security officials adopt photo ID requirements to receive benefits and work to increase the percentage of correctly handled unemployment claims. Dale Falwell is the Assistant Secretary of the Department of Commerce. Most importantly, you handle everything unemployment insurance, unemployment benefits. Thank you for being on. Well, a lot of money has flown through your office. You said over $19 billion since 2007. We have a huge debt. You're paying it down. How do you feel about the progress towards getting out of debt and towards, bolstering the reserve funds so we have unemployment checks for the next recession?
Well, in 2013, we started the year with the third highest amount of debt in the United States behind New York and California. We paid off over $750 million of that debt last year. We expect to pay off over $1 billion of that this year and have it completely paid off by November of 2015. And the reason that's important to your viewers is that every North Carolina business, including counties, cities, school districts, are paying twice and sometimes 2.5 times more in food taxes than 35 other states across the United States. So getting the debt paid down will allow us to be on an equal playing field with other states in terms of getting jobs into North Carolina. And the more people that have jobs, the less people I have to pay unemployment to.
What are you hearing from businesses? Because, one lesson people will learn when you explain unemployment is there is no state tax money going into the unemployment place. All your bosses, all the bosses out there paying into this. But what are they telling you now? Is the pain setting in, or can they get through it to 2015 without causing too many problems for you?
Well, the legislation was a balance between higher taxes on employers and lower benefits to claimants. We're striking that balance, and we're interpreting that law as it was written and signed by Governor McCrory.
I heard you talking about quality control measures within your department handling unemployment insurance, I guess it's applicants' claims and cases.
Sure.
Did I hear you correctly that only 12% of cases in the recent past were, I would say, met the standards of quality by the Federal Bureau of Labor, Department of Labor?
Sure. The federal government gives us a report card where they come in and analyze the work that we do. And in the fourth quarter of 2012, they determined that only 12% of what we were doing correctly. And we're pleased to report in the fourth quarter of last year, for the first time, as you can see, since the mid-90s, we got above the 50% level. And the reason that's important to your viewers, not only to employers who are paying taxes into the system, but for the claimants. The claimants deserve to know that when we send a check out of our agency, we're not going to chase them down for that money later. Obviously, that's always going to occur, but when you were only scoring 12 out of 100, chances are we were paying and chasing. We were paying money out that we would ultimately have to chase down.
So I get laid off, Dale, and I would fill out an application in good faith and I would do everything correctly. But the state bureaucrats would do something incorrectly and it would force you to come and get my money back after I've already collected. Is that correct?
Or you may have put down that you were discharged and your employer wrote in on the 500AB and said you quit. So there's a discrepancy there.
If you quit, you don't get unemployment.
That's correct.
If you're laid off, okay.
So in many instances, we were paying that money out and then trying to chase it down, and it just, all the work was flowing uphill and getting ping-ponged. That has obviously resulted in a backlog because we have an obligation to get it right in the first 15 days in the life of the claim. And these quality scores that you're seeing from the U.S. Department of Labor is demonstrating to the people of our agency and the people of North Carolina that for the first time in a long time, the hardworking employees of our agency are getting it right.
Now, you're over 54% successfully handling a case, according to the feds. What's a realistic number? 100% is not going to be. You're going to make mistakes. You're human. What's accurate?
They want us to be at 75. We've never been at 75, and that would be a goal as we go into the end of this year. But one thing that's going to help us is this new thing that we're starting this month. For people who got their first check this month, we're partnering with our DWS offices, which people are familiar with across North Carolina.
What is that for DWS?
Division of Workforce Solutions.
Okay.
We are DES, and they are DWS, and we come together because part of your requirement for getting unemployment, for getting the debit card loaded, is that you have to certify that you're able, available, and seeking employment. Well, able, available, and seeking employment means that you need to produce a document which has not been done in years in North Carolina, which is a requirement under the federal and state law, that you produce a document that shows us where you went to look for work. And now that's starting back up in the month of March for people who got their first payment from our agency in March.
So you get an unemployment check. On the very first check, you're supposed to go out and start looking for a job.
Correct.
And going forward, I'm going to pull out a piece of hard paper and send that, or meet with whomever.
Yes.
And what else am I going to supply? I can lie on that.
Well, you can lie on that, but the main thing is that we're going to be able to put the driver's license right up here on the work search form. And the reason this is important is that nowhere in the process were people in North Carolina having to prove they were who they say they were when they were filing unemployment claims in North Carolina. This now makes sure that the person who filed the claim is the person whose picture is on this ID. Now, what's important in this whole relationship is that under the I-9 laws of the federal government, in order to get a job, you have to have an ID. So if it's a condition for employment, then it should be a condition for unemployment. And once people go into the local offices and have these interviews, that's when our DWS department is going to be matching employers with the unemployed. And once again, anytime that we match an unemployed person with a job, not only are more taxes coming in to pay off this debt, but that's less money going out of the trust fund also.
That's Dale Falwell, Assistant Secretary of the Department of Commerce. As always, thanks for having you on. Keep up the work. We'll be in other future committee hearings, and we'll bring more updates.
Thank you.